we've seen him when he's a little bit lighter and there's just not as much thump on the punches, and I think that's probably the best thing he could have had, is that extra oomph in those punches. But it's his game plan, whatever he wants. But to me, the weight doesn't matter. The weight's not going to make a difference. It's going to be the skills that win this fight, and I believe my skills are better than his, which is a crazy thing to say, but he's a very basic fighter, and he's gotten to where he's at because of the size and because of the power. So the skills are what's going to win this fight, and he's seen that with Usyk when he fought him, and so I believe it's going to be very similar to that.
The upcoming clash between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua has created a storm of reactions across the boxing world, with opinions ranging from genuine concern to absolute disbelief.
With that one punch, or, you know, obviously he has a lot of power punches. If you get caught, of course, you know, he's gonna defeat you, but I don't believe he can land those punches, and he lands them on the bigger, slower guys who are sitting right in front of him. Everyone's like, did you see Francis Ngannou, what he did to Francis Ngannou? It's like the guy's feet stuck in mud. He's just sitting there, didn't do anything, and just got fucking nailed with
do you know what? Yeah, you have to admire how deluded Jake Paul is, isn't it? You have to.
If I get hit with that
Shay,
shot,
if the Simmons street streak, appreciate you. You have to admire it.
He's gonna hit me with those shots.
Joe Rogan has been tracking Paul's evolution from internet personality to professional boxer since the beginning, yet even he finds this particular matchup difficult to process. The podcast host noted the stark contrast between Paul's recent bout with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, which resembled more of a controlled exhibition than a real heavyweight battle, and what awaits him against Joshua. The leap from that cautious encounter with an aging icon to facing someone in their prime with genuine knockout power strikes Rogan as almost incomprehensible. He made it clear that any speculation about the fight being fixed should be dismissed immediately, arguing that Joshua has built too prestigious a career to ever compromise his reputation by staging a result. According to Rogan, Joshua will enter that ring with full intention and maximum effort because his legacy hangs in the balance, and anything less than complete commitment would tarnish everything he has accomplished.
You know, there's not a chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio, and that's just going to make him more dangerous. He's going to be terrifying, and he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry that Jake Paul wants to fight him, very upset that this YouTuber who's fought Tommy Fury, who's a legit boxer, and, you know, a couple other guys that were legit boxers. That's it. Like everyone else he's fought Ben Askren, who was really a wrestler. You know, he fought Tyron Woodley, who was an elite MMA fighter, but, you know, not an elite boxer. He fought Nate Robinson, who was a basketball player. At least he's fought these guys. He fought Anderson Silva, and he dropped Anderson Silva. And Anderson Silva was a really good striker, but also in his 40s, you know, different time. It's, you know, not the same guy he used to be. This is a 34-year-old Anthony Joshua. This is a terrifying human being. Terrifying.
Francis Ngannou brought an interesting perspective to the conversation, having experienced Joshua's power firsthand when he was stopped in the second round during their March 2024 encounter. The former UFC champion admitted that news of the Paul Joshua fight genuinely caught him off guard when it first broke. Despite his initial surprise, Ngannou expressed authentic curiosity about how events will unfold. He suggested that Joshua must have calculated reasons for taking this fight, and regardless of the controversy swirling around the announcement, Ganu finds himself anticipating the outcome with real interest.
What do you think happens?
Well, fight. They're gonna step in the octagon. That what in the ring.
The ring, yes.
That's what's gonna happen.
No, I know.
Fight.
But who do you think wins? What do you think actually happens in the fight?
I think AJ win. I mean, do you think otherwise?
Well, do you think, like, I think there's a lot of people who think he's gonna knock him out in the first round.
Yeah, I would say so, but why exactly Jake Paul took that fight? That's what I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
You know, what is his strategy?
Do you think it's dangerous? Do you think it's foolish for his health to take a fight? You've been in there with AJ. You know how good he is. Do you think it's foolish for him to take this fight?
Not foolish, but again, I don't know I don't understand. He's the only one that can know the reason, and I'm sure they thought that through, right? He didn't just wake up out of the blue and decide to choose to pick AJ or me or whatever.
Teddy Atlas provided a more nuanced breakdown that acknowledged Joshua as the overwhelming favorite while also recognizing certain vulnerabilities that have emerged in recent performances. Atlas pointed to the loss against Daniel Dubois as a turning point, after which Joshua has appeared different in subtle but meaningful ways. Extended gaps between fights and lingering questions about his psychological state have created an environment of uncertainty. Atlas suggested that Paul might be able to exploit his youth, movement, and structured approach to navigate certain portions of the fight. He stopped short of predicting a Paul victory, but declined to completely write off the possibility of Paul surviving the full 8 rounds.
Former heavyweight champ is supposed to go and win by knockout. I understand all that, what people are thinking. But I tell you one thing, with all that, Joshua has been inactive. Joshua was destroyed in his last fight. I know it was against a fighter, a top fighter, not against a guy that's been fighting a couple years and has had very little background. I understand all, Teddy understands that. I just break it down, all of it. And with having said that, Joshua has been inactive. We don't know where he is mentally. We don't know where he is physically. He's been gone for over a year. We don't know. We know he's coming off a bad loss. We understand that in his last fight. And so we don't know where he's at. But we know Paul's young. We know that he's got legs. He's got a jab. Who says he can't get in there for 8 rounds and motorcycle around? And you know, what is winning for him at this point? Going and knocking out Joshua, which would be unbelievable and unlikely, or doing something no one expects, taking on this challenge. He's already got everyone's attention, taking on this challenge, and then going in there and going the distance. Maybe, you know, in a way that no one thought he could.
David Haye offered an unexpectedly pragmatic take that focused more on betting value than actual fight prediction. Rather than simply laughing off Paul's chances, Haye explained why placing a wager on some kind of surprising outcome might make sense from a gambling perspective. Betting on Joshua to win as expected offers virtually no financial upside given how heavily he will be favored, so backing Paul to pull off a victory, or even betting on unusual results like a no contest, draw, or technical draw could provide roughly 10-to-1 returns. Haye clarified that he would never suggest anyone risk significant money on such an outcome, but a modest bet could yield meaningful returns if chaos somehow materializes.
Okay, if I'm a betting man, if I'm betting with high bet and I want to go and put a bet on, it's not really worth betting on Anthony Joshua because he's such a heavy favorite. You know, I'd bet for Jake Paul to win, for a no contest, a draw, technical draw, or something crazy to happen. I'd bet Jake Paul some fight either finds a way to win or get a draw, technical draw, or something, because you'll get 10-to-1, you get 10-to-1 odds that way round. So you put 100 quid on, that, you get 1,000. You put 100 quid on AJ, you get 10 quid back. It doesn't seem like it's worth betting.
So it's worth betting on Jake Paul then?
I'd say yeah. For the don't put your life savings on it, but if you're gonna have a little flutter and you want to get something back, you'll get massive odds. Obviously, he's such an underdog, such a massive underdog, that it's like, okay, you might as well put a little bit on there just to make it interesting. So if I was gonna bet on this fight, I'd bet on Jake Paul in some way, shape, or form to get the massive surprise upset victory. It will be the biggest sporting upset, I think, if this happens. Not just boxing, in any sport. The fact you'd get someone with such a lack of experience at the world level challenging someone who is world level and has proven it and has been been up there with the world belts, unified championships, Olympic gold medal, world championship silver medalist as an amateur. It's crazy to think, but the fight's taking place, and I'm gonna go with Jake Paul by something crazy is going to happen.
Not everyone viewing this matchup sees it as a straightforward competitive event. Deontay Wilder, who has shared the ring with Joshua as a rival, has made bold claims about the authenticity of the entire affair. The two-time world champion has openly questioned whether this fight represents genuine competition, suggesting that despite official labeling as a sanctioned professional bout, the event might actually be choreographed entertainment disguised as sport. Wilder posed philosophical questions about what truly defines a real fight, implying that simply calling something professional does not automatically guarantee both participants are genuinely trying to defeat each other.
We're a week away from Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. What have we got here?
As I look at it, for the fans, it put boxing still on the map because it keeps boxing relevant. Having exhibition fights like this, different celebrities and different things like that. I look at it as a fun thing for fans and stuff like that. I don't really take it seriously, because, we in the business of boxing. That right there is just, exhibition stuff. But I'm hearing they say it's a real fight, but yeah, it's a real fight because both guys are getting in a fight. I'm still the one that be thinking certain things are scripted as well too. So, but we'll see. I always say may the best man win, and main thing about it, may those guys go in there and have a hell of a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying?
Joseph Parker carries unique authority on this subject, having been the first fighter to push Joshua the full 12-round distance while losing his WBO title in the process. Parker spoke plainly about the danger Paul faces, emphasizing that Joshua is a naturally massive heavyweight who has already conquered every major milestone the sport offers. From Parker's viewpoint, the result seems predetermined based purely on physical advantages and accumulated experience. Joshua possesses too much raw power and too refined a skill set when pressed to offer advice that might help Paul simply survive. Parker suggested an ultra-defensive strategy focused on choosing moments with extreme care and hoping for openings that might never actually appear.
That's crazy that you can say Jake Paul is actually fighting Anthony Joshua. That's crazy.
Let's just say that straight down the middle, proper fight. How do you think that unfolds on that night?
You would have to say that Joshua is too much. He's a natural heavyweight. He's been a unified champion of the world. He's done everything in boxing. You would have to say that he's going to come in there and knock him out.
If you're Jake Paul, knowing the skill sets he's got, how do you survive 8 rounds against Anthony Joshua? What do you do?
8-round fight?
Yeah.
8-round fight.
10 rounds gloves.
What do? You're defensive, and you pick your moments if you can, if there are moments. He backs himself, Jake Paul, so you never know. But at the end of the day, I think everyone that's involved in boxing and knows boxing, Joshua's too much for him, way too much.
Alexander Usyk weighed in with the quiet confidence of someone who has conquered the entire division. Having beaten Joshua twice, defeated Tyson Fury in consecutive fights, and added another victory over Dubois, Usyk stands as the undisputed heavyweight king. He saw no need for lengthy analysis or complex breakdowns. To him, the gap between Joshua and Paul is both massive and obvious. Joshua competes at a tier Paul has never accessed, and Usyk's brief comments reflected the certainty of someone who has already defeated the very best version of the fighter Paul now faces.
Yeah, you're correct. If Anthony Joshua won, Anthony killed this guy. Listen, a lot of questions, blah blah blah. Only one my answer. Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. First. Jake Paul, it's sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls Royce, Fiat. Listen, it's true. Yeah, I'm not. Типа я не обзываюсь.
I have nothing better in mind.
Yeah. It's just true. It's business, more money. Only this.
So we need to pray for Jake Paul.
Yes. I will pray Jake Paul because I want fight with Jake Paul in octagon.
Yeah.
Do you think that Conor McGregor approached this matchup with visible apprehension rather than the excitement typically associated with big boxing events? Having observed Joshua up close from ringside positions, McGregor understands exactly what kind of danger accompanies heavyweight punching power. His commentary centered not on entertainment value or competitive spirit, but on genuine risk assessment. While acknowledging the bravery required for Paul to accept such a challenge, McGregor stressed that courage alone provides no protection against the devastating force generated when a 240-pound athlete unleashes full combinations.
He's gonna get knocked out by AJ though, isn't he?
If he makes that walk, you've got to give him his respect for that. It's very dangerous, you know. It seems like Netflix are all over him. You get me? It's a dangerous sport, and you can't overlook that. Joshua's a big boy and a powerhouse. I've sat ringside and watched Joshua. That's a heavy punching man, and he's a happy and he's a good kid. He has an anger in him. He has a darkness in him, does Anthony Joshua. I don't think a lot of people suss that. So, the fight shouldn't go ahead. In my opinion, the fight shouldn't go ahead. However, if he does it, I'll give him his respect for that.
Dana White stripped away technical analysis entirely and focused purely on spectacle value. Rather than debating credentials or dissecting fighting styles, he framed the event around pure curiosity. People want to witness what happens when someone who built fame through digital platforms steps into a ring with a powerful, seasoned heavyweight. For White, that intrigue alone justifies the event's existence. The unknown factor, however improbable an upset might be, generates the attention that makes such events viable.
See the fight that's reportedly being worked on for December 19th in Miami.
Did I see the fight being worked on December 19th in Miami?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know which fight I'm talking about?
No.
Fair enough.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. I think everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
Dana over here.
Amir Khan voiced far more serious concerns that went beyond competitive analysis into ethical territory. He questioned whether athletic commissions should even sanction this type of matchup. From his perspective, pairing Paul with a heavyweight known for ending fights violently is irresponsible. Khan believes financial motivations have overridden legitimate safety considerations. He noted that Joshua has hurt and stopped elite-level fighters throughout his career, and the disparities in size and experience are so extreme that Paul could suffer serious harm before having any opportunity to adjust or defend himself properly. Khan's position was not about denying anyone the right to compete, but rather about respecting the brutal realities of heavyweight boxing.
I'm gonna hit you with it now, man. Look, first of all, I think Nakisa hates Jake Paul because he wants him dead, I think. That's what it comes down to. Me and JB had a meeting with Nakisa and he was giving big ones, which I did not understand. He's not really like, come on. But like, he really wants to see his own friend that he calls my childhood friend hurt. That is wrong, bro. Like, you know what I mean? He's chasing the money. So he's just gone straight to the money and put my man in the firing line against a heavyweight champion who can hurt him and literally cause him problems in the future as well. Don't you believe me? You believe that? I mean, AJ hitting him with that big right hand. Oof, look, if AJ hits him with a shot like he hit Ngannou and knocked him clean out, I mean, even Ngannou would knock Jake Paul out. But that just shows, like, but you can't mess with the sport. Boxing, you can't mess with boxing. Boxing is a sport that you have to respect. You're always at one punch away from getting hurt, and something bad's gonna happen one day and they're gonna regret it. They're gonna say, oh, why did we take that fight? It's not like they need the money. And if I was AJ, and so a YouTuber come to me who's tiny, who's smaller than me, and weaker than me, and has no experience at all, you think I'm gonna say no to him? Like, come on, bro. Like, and they pay big money, but let's just hope AJ goes there, knocks him out, ends this YouTube boxing, because in a way, someone is gonna get hurt badly, and this could be the fight that someone gets hurt so bad that they will never ever get sanctioned to ever fight again.
Roy Jones Jr. spoke with the urgency of a legend who has witnessed too many lopsided fights turn dangerous. To him, the risk becomes immediate once Joshua decides to stop treating Paul as a novelty opponent and begins engaging seriously. Jones seemed convinced that if Joshua approaches the fight with genuine intent, the natural order of things would assert itself quickly. Given Joshua's advantages in size, strength, and accumulated ring wisdom, Jones could not envision the fight lasting long once the intensity escalates.
Big news also this past week, AJ versus Jake. I mean, everyone's been calling for Jake to fight a real fighter. What do you think?
And Jake gonna fight a real fighter, and if the real fighter fights like a real fighter, then Jake gonna take a real nap. AJ, he showed you with Ngannou. He ain't one of these guys that just go pick out streets and say, oh, I'm gonna fight AJ. No. AJ is an Olympian. AJ is a former world champion. AJ is not two-time world champion. AJ is nothing to play with. So when you go in with AJ, have your mind right, cause if you can't take it, he gonna find out.
Were you surprised when you heard about that?
No, I was not.
So you think he's gonna knock him out though, AJ?
He's gonna definitely knock him out. Because, I mean, don't get it wrong, Jake's smart, and Jake does have the power if he can catch him first. He knows if he can catch AJ first, he can get AJ out. But he don't catch AJ first. Like Ngannou couldn't catch him first. AJ been boxing a long time. AJ better than they give him credit for.
Shane Mosley brought a measured perspective informed by direct experience, having actually trained Paul and worked in his corner during previous camps. Having observed Paul's dedication firsthand, Mosley respects the commitment and work ethic Paul consistently brings to preparation. He has watched Paul endure demanding sparring sessions, push through rigorous strength and conditioning programs, and approach the sport with enough seriousness to silence critics who dismiss him as merely playing boxer. Despite that respect, Mosley struggled to imagine how Paul could overcome the sheer physical differences.
What are your thoughts on Rogan and Ganu, both guys who are old school throwback fighters matching them, and they're no doubt going to put on a show here in San Antonio.
I can't see no other way, but anything can happen in fighting and boxing is Jake Paul was
and also make sure for exclusive behind the scenes access.
I would not even try to
Premier Boxing and also subscribe to our
fight.
YouTube channel.
I wouldn't even try to do a fight. If he won, I would never try to do a fight ever.
Andy Ruiz Jr. offered perhaps the most grounded assessment, drawing from the rare experience of having actually defeated Joshua convincingly. Ruiz knows precisely what it takes to hurt Joshua because he accomplished it with his own fists during their shocking 2019 encounter. He suggested that Paul's only realistic pathway to victory would involve replicating that specific moment, landing a perfectly timed punch early before Joshua finds his rhythm and settles into the fight. Ruiz acknowledged Paul's improvements and genuine dedication to the sport, but still could not envision an upset materializing. His guidance leaned heavily toward realism rather than optimism.
Listen, Jake Paul had his face-off today with Anthony Joshua.
Oh, yeah.
He called himself Andy Ruiz 2.0.
Oh,
so
nice.
I gotta ask, what advice would you give to him, like technically?
I think just having faith, man. Having faith. Don't be scared, and do what you gotta do. You know, ask God for that victory, and He will come through. And just be fearless. You know, that's what you gotta do. You gotta be fearless and give it all you got. You know.
Any secret to, like, you know, boxing a guy like
just get
Joshua?
him with the right hand. That's what Jake Paul's looking for, the right hand. And if he lands, he could do good damage. So a lot of people underestimate Jake Paul, but in reality, he's a good fighter and he's dedicated, and that's what I like about him.
You get on the phone with Jake before the fight?
I haven't, but I'm gonna hit him up. And try to give him some little pointers, huh?
Rolly Romero introduced a contrarian view by suggesting Paul might not be as reckless as public perception suggests. Romero's analysis focused less on technical capabilities and more on psychological factors. He argued that Paul would not agree to such a fight unless he genuinely believed he possessed a viable path to victory. Romero frames Paul as someone who operates within carefully managed circumstances, implying that favorable conditions consistently align for him at crucial moments. His perspective hinges on the idea that Paul has methodically controlled risk throughout his entire boxing career. By strategically selecting opponents and building momentum incrementally, Paul has maintained relevance and profitability.
What do you think about the Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua fight?
Jake Paul has plot armor. Let me ask you this, right? Why would Jake Paul fight Anthony Joshua unless he truly believes he's going to win?
I've been trying to.
Jake Paul has plot armor.
Yeah.
When you have plot armor, bro, it's like it's like watching Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like Harry Potter is literally said in like the 5th or 6th movie. It's like, bro, I don't know how I win. I just get lucky. It's the same thing, bro. When you just have plot armor, bro, you're just gonna win no matter what. It don't matter. Aside from that.
The collective voice of the boxing world seems united in recognizing the enormous gulf separating these fighters, while simultaneously grappling with the reality that this event will indeed happen. The fight represents a collision between traditional boxing hierarchy and modern celebrity-driven sports entertainment, and the final prediction must account for both competitive logic and the unpredictable nature of heavyweight boxing. Joshua enters as the overwhelming favorite for obvious reasons, possessing every advantage except perhaps youth and social media followers. Paul enters as the ultimate underdog, armed with confidence, careful preparation, and the knowledge that one perfectly placed punch can change everything in heavyweight boxing. The smart money remains firmly on Joshua, but the event's existence proves that modern boxing operates under different rules than tradition dictates.